You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show. You are Locked On Phillies Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel for this edition of Locked On Phillies Postcast. First and foremost, who brings us this fine episode? The great people at eBay Motors. From brakes to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need and all the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit only available to U.S. customers. First and foremost, what idiot? What big fat dope would say like Nick Castellanos doesn't trust Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos can't hit. Rather have Garrett Stubbs as a cleanup hitter for the Phillies like yesterday. If you're going to give Alec Bowman a day off. What did he even say that? I don't remember. I don't think he knew either. But anyway, three big things. Nick Castellanos leads it off for us. Yes, we got Cristopher Sanchez on the list. Sure, we got the Phillies actually playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder in this game. Most notably, Bryce Harper, who is in the middle of a benches clearing. That's it. Not even a kerfluffle, not even a scuffle, nothing. Just some pissed off guys. And I think Bryce Harper was playing with a little bit of edge today. And we also have a good bullpen appearance today. Cristopher Sanchez, as I mentioned, and everybody but Edmundo Sosa got at least a hit today. Sosa took 0 for 5. He went 0 for 5 in a day that they gave off JT Realmuto. Garrett Stubbs is behind the dish today, catching Cristopher Sanchez. And he actually comes up with 2 hits. I think it was 5 Phillies finished with at least 2 hits in this game, so that was nice. The bats definitely bounced back in this win for the Phils. But this was just all in all a great team effort from start to finish. Let's get into it with 3 big things. Sure, Nick Castellanos. First off, look, a 206 hitter on the season, which is what Nick Castellanos is now after his 3-hit day, is still a 206 hitter on the season. However, 208. I don't want to spite on those 2 points there, but 208 now on the season for Nick Castellanos. That's what he is. He has been hot and cold in his time as a Philadelphia Philly. In his first year as a Philly, we all know, struggled mightily for the Phils. Last year had a great start to the season, had a fantastic June, and played himself into the Midsummer Classic. This year, again, back on the struggle bus, but at least seeing him now today get his 7th home run of the season was a great thing. To see him today be a triple short of the cycle, and I know they pointed it out during the broadcast, but I was thinking the exact same thing. If there was ever going to be a park where old cement shoes Nick Castellanos himself or old wind-resistant Nicky 3 buttons was going to actually get a triple, it was going to be in this ballpark against the San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park, right there by the bay. If there was ever going to be a park he was going to get that triple, it was going to be today. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But fortunately, he came up with 3 hits. Fortunately, he had a 2-run home run. Fortunately, it was his 7th home run of the season. And fortunately, he was squaring up baseballs today. Got a double, got a single, got the home run. All seemed to be going well with Nick Castellanos. And I made sure I held on for a second because I heard them announce that they were going to interview Nick Castellanos after the game. And as much as the guy's inconsistency, especially this season, and really overall his inconsistency since becoming a Philadelphia Philly, and really overall his inconsistency throughout his career, as much as that could be annoying, as much as that could bother you, as much as that could get under your skin, I got to say, the guy's attitude, look, is it un-Philadelphia-like? You're absolutely right. It's un-Philadelphia-like, no doubt. However, he is genuine, that he is who he is. And one of the things I really loved hearing from him was that he's not going to panic. There's another word there, panic. Alec Boehm used it yesterday. Nick Castellanos talked similarly about not panicking when you're struggling at the plate. You just keep on having good at-bats, and you try to set a good example for some of the younger guys on this team. And one of the real repeating themes of Nick Castellanos when he has had those struggles is how he manages those struggles. So he sets a good example for some of the younger guys that when they hit those walls throughout their career, they're not going to hit that panic button. And Nick Castellanos tries to consistently do that, not hit the panic button, and show guys how you fight through at bats and fight through struggles, fight through slumps, unfortunately, when it comes to the Phillies. And that's something that I think is a great thing from a leader, and that's what Nick Castellanos is ultimately trying to be. We don't talk about him in that light. We talk about Bryce Harper doing that. We talk about Kyle Schwarber doing that. We very rarely talk about Nick Castellanos in that same light when we talk about leadership. But as a guy who has had his struggles, again, 208 hitter on the season, still looking at it on the year, a 271 on base percentage at this point. And that's after 3 hits today. That's a guy who is struggling, but that's a guy who also knows how to deal with those types of struggles. And try to teach younger guys like that is a great thing. And it's part of being a great teammate. As for Nick Castellanos in this game, his first hit of the ball game came in the 2nd inning. He got the single to right field. Bryson Stott helped him out there as well. They led off that inning with back-to-back singles. You have 2 on, nobody out, 1st and 2nd. Merrifield then, who has struggled, but good to see him get on base today with a big hit. Merrifield goes up there and he flies out to right field. Then Stubbs lines out to 2nd. Christian Pache of all people. Christian Pache. I'm trying to get used to saying Pache. Christian Pache goes up there, gets the RBI single with 2 outs to left field, bringing home Nick Castellanos. That was great. That made it a 2-0 game. Castellanos would step to the plate yet again in the 3rd inning. That's when he got his double. Good to see that, a 2-out double. And then in the 5th inning, that's when he did the most damage. Alec Boehm came up with a double to left field. Next batter up with Nick Castellanos. He got a 1-1 changeup that was up and away. It was up and away. And he swung the barrel of the bat around, and he actually pulled it down to down in the left field for a 365-foot home run, just barely over the wall in left field. Actually hit the mitt and then went out. I think it would have been out either way, but either way, it's out. Bottom line, it's a 2-run home run. It's a 7th homer of the season. That made it a 4-0 game, and you were kind of waiting for that insurance, and you certainly got that in that instance. Castellanos had a huge opportunity to do a little bit more damage for the Phils in the 8th inning after a Bryce Harper RBI single to left field, made it a 6-0 ball game. You had a bases loaded situation when Alec Boehm worked a walk in front of Nick Castellanos with 2 outs, bases loaded. Castellanos steps up, the whiff. And unfortunately, that was when he struck out. But the damage had been done by Nick Castellanos in this game. So bottom line, great to see him get this type of game. Bottom line, great to see the Phillies get this win before they head back to the East Coast now to start a homestand after this 6-game road trip in Colorado and obviously in San Francisco. So that's great. Number 2 on this list, Nick Castellanos, number 1. We look at Cristopher Sanchez, number 2. Without question, the changeup, chef's kiss, gorgeous, beautiful from Cristopher Sanchez. The cutter, chef's kiss, beautiful, fantastic. For the people on the podcast, I'm doing the chef's kiss. I'm just making that audible so you know I'm not just kissing the microphone. Okay, anyway. But that's what Cristopher Sanchez had working for him today, and everything was beautiful from him. 4 hits, 6 scoreless. Absolutely a fantastic effort from him. He had been going mostly over his last handful of starts, about 5 innings worth of work. He was able to get back over that, back to 6 innings today, and you saw the type of pitcher that you have seen for the majority of this season for Cristopher Sanchez. The 6 scoreless, the 4 hits, 1 walk issued, 7 strikeouts, and he used 96 pitches. He lowers his ERA to 2.83. The big glaring thing for me in this particular game for Cristopher Sanchez, other than how dead on accurate he was. I mean, you look at his pitch ratio right here, 96 pitches, 68 of them for strikes. So a great outing for him there. But when it comes to overall control in this game, there was not that inning that you have seen Cristopher Sanchez had over his last handful of starts, where he looks like the guy that should be in a mop-up role for the bullpen. More so now he looks like that guy that's an absolute hurler as a left-handed pitcher in this rotation. That's what you've been waiting to see from Cristopher Sanchez. And the only time you really saw struggles from him, I believe it came in the 3rd inning. He allowed a 2-out single to Wisely. Then he allowed a 2-out single to Estrada. So you have 2 runners on. Then he walked Chapman. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And this is more so what we have seen. It wasn't as consistent as it was in the other starts, where when he struggled, oh my goodness gracious, he was really struggling. But he struggled a little bit with 2 outs in that 3rd inning. So we knew he had an easy exit because all he needed was 1 out. But the bottom line was the bases were still loaded with 2 outs. The Phillies were only up 2 runs at this point in the 3rd inning, and he gets Flores to strike out on 3 pitches because of course he did. That's what he does. It really makes me go back to a start against the Mets where he just struggled. And I want to say it was the third inning as well. And then all of a sudden he threw 9 pitches with the bases loaded, if I'm not mistaken. 9 pitches with the bases loaded. All 9 of them were for strikes. And he struck out 3 consecutive batters to get out of that jam. That's something special from Cristopher Sanchez. And you saw a little taste of that in that third inning. But here's the bottom line of that. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see the struggle, and you didn't see the struggle for the most part throughout this start. The only time you really saw it was that third inning. 5th inning, he cruised. 6th inning, he cruised, had some good defensive help as well. Alec Boehm went deep into foul territory to smother a fair ball, and he was able to throw out Fitzgerald, was it on there? It was Flores in the 6th inning, and then he got Soler to ground out to shortstop to get the final out of his outing. I thought they might have him go one more inning, but Rob Thomson decided, hey, you know what? Not going to do it. You're only going to go 6 today on those 96 pitches, and we're going to enjoy every morsel of that. So thank you very much. They hand the ball over the bullpen. It was good to see Soto have a 1-2-3 inning, or excuse me, he worked a walk. He allowed a walk, double play, then he got out of the inning after that. So a fairly easy inning for Gregory Soto. Sir Anthony Dominguez gets the 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th inning, and then Spencer Turnbull, who has been struggling mightily since going to the bullpen, struggled again in the bottom of the 9th, but only allowed 1 run to cross the plate, and that was that. Number 3 on 3 big things following Nick Castellanos and Cristopher Sanchez in this game. I just got to give a tip of the cap to the entire Phillies offense in this game. As I mentioned earlier, the only one who took the collar today was an 0-for-5 day, as a matter of fact, for Edmundo Sosa. Everybody else in this lineup was hitting baseballs. Now, here's the thing. If normally you're looking at a situation where you have you're 5 for 15 with runners in scoring position, the highlight there for some people might be 15. The highlight for me was that you got 5 hits with runners in scoring position. And that's what the Phillies were able to do today. When you look up and down the lineup, you see Kyle Schwarber get his 11th home run of the season. Going into today, Kyle Schwarber was on pace for only 29 home runs this year. That's it. Only 29 home runs. Now he's on pace, I don't know, maybe 31 after that. I don't know. It's not even June yet, so it doesn't even count yet for Kyle Schwarber. So he goes into June starting with 11 home runs because he's going to start off, he gets the off day tomorrow. So then Sosa goes the 0-for. Harper got a hit. It was an RBI late in the game. Boehm got a hit. It was a double. He was 1 for 4. Then Castellanos and Stott both had multi-hit games. Castellanos with 3, Bryson Stott with 2. Great to see him have a multi-hit game after struggling big time. Whit Merrifield had the double off the wall in left center field. Great to see him make solid contact, although he's still only batting 184 on the season with a 266 on base percentage. Garrett Stubbs and Christian Pache also coming up with multi-hit games. You gotta love it. You love it. Seeing it from those guys. I mentioned the Christian Pache RBI single that he had with 2 outs there in the early goings of the ball game. Fantastic to see. That's the kind of production you want to see from this lineup. And I mentioned it yesterday, but we found humility, baseball gods. Thank you. We can wrap it up now and get back to winning, please. Thank you. We'll get back to that in a second. But when we talk about this game in particular, we'll get into really what this bullpen was able to do a little bit later in this ball game and talk about really something Rob Thomson did in particular that I didn't like yesterday, but I loved it today. We'll get into that when we come back, and also your comments coming up. You're Locked On Phillies postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. And yeah, like and subscribe to all that good stuff. All right, be back in a second. You guys have all been talking about, the great people at eBay Motors and the fantastic job they do at eBay Motors with passion, with drive, with patience. That's the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance with superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED lights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has everything covered for you. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, eBay Motors has got your back. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for with eBay Motors. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay's Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. I hope my kids are just really excited about the win. If you hear them screaming their heads off in the background, probably they're upset that they probably bet with FanDuel. They probably bet Nick Castellanos is not going to hit, but they probably lost a lot of money on that. My kids are 4-2, but whatever. Anyway, I got to give. Well, before I give credit, let me look at the chat here and see what you guys got going on in this one. Let's see what we got here. IBH, what's going on? IBH, John Marinelli, good morning. Adam, what's going on? Adam, nice to see you. Good evening. Much needed win. Absolutely. IBH, full disclosure, Farzy, I was in complete agreement with you on sitting Castellanos today. On my personal podcast, I did say that I wanted him to have an off day today, and unfortunately, that didn't go down. Fortunately, Rob Thomson wasn't listening to the program, and he did what he wanted to do anyway. More on that in a second. I guess we won't be getting any calls from Middleton or Dombrowski. That's a pretty safe bet. John Marinelli, what's going on? Phillies are back. I had the same thought. When Nick Castellanos hit that home run, I went, we're back, baby. We're back. Adam, hi to you as well. There was a little pushing. A little pushing. Yeah, okay. That's true. In the benches clearing pushing match, that's true. More on that in a second. Schwarber's warming up, says Kath. Kath, I agree. It's almost June. Crazy. I'm still pissed we lost back-to-back series. I am too, but you're still the best team in baseball. You know what I'm saying? Adam, I think the last time the Phillies won a series in San Francisco was 2018. Yeah, this broke a 9-game losing streak by the Bay. Yeah, Pat Burrell was coming in hot, man. He was coming back like he was leaving the Irish pub. You know what I'm saying? Pat Burrell was he was a little mouthy, a little physical as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, John, that was a bit of a rough one. So let me hit the tease here. The tease was something Rob Thomson did that Rob Thompson's a player's manager. All right. Now, sometimes watching players manager. Now, Charlie Manuel is the perfect example of this because in the early goings, of course, of Charlie Manuel, one of the things that we all shot our mouths out was whether or not Charlie actually understood strategy. And he obviously learned strategy pretty well. But when it came to being a great player's manager, he was every ounce of that. Potentially, most likely, the best player's manager or coach we've ever had in Philadelphia, Charlie Manuel. Phillies won a World Series with that, obviously. But watching Rob Thomson take over, when you watch a player's manager, you do question a lot more of the tactical things, the strategic things they'll be doing as a manager, the lineup card, what have you. Rob Thomson, as a player's manager, he has to have the finger on the pulse of the players and understand what they need when they need it. He has to understand if somebody needs a kick in the butt, somebody needs a slap on the butt, the old good hustle. And he also needs to know when somebody needs to be taken out of the lineup, moved down to the lineup, somebody needs an off day, whatever the case may be. Alec Boehm played great at third base today. He got a double. He scored a run. Great to see that from him. One of the things that he's really got to keep his finger on is obviously the attitude and the temperature of Nick Castellanos. If you're Nick Castellanos, so just put yourself in these shoes for a second here, in these spikes, if you will, in these stirrups. If you're Nick Castellanos and your manager knows that you've been struggling, and your manager says, you know what, I'm not going to give you a day off. Instead of giving you a day off, I'm going to give Alec Boehm a day off, and I'm going to make you the cleanup hitter. Either way, no matter how you look at it, that's got to be a vote of confidence. That's got to be a confidence boost from your boss, essentially. No, I'm not going to give you a break because I don't think you need a break. I'm going to show you that you could actually go out there and you could actually get the job done. And I'm going to put you in the most pivotal position in our lineup, the cleanup hitter on this team. And Alec Boehm's getting the day off. You got to rake. Go out there and rake. Now, did he rake? No. Did he get a hit? Yes. Today he raked. Yesterday, not so much. But that's got to be a little bit of a mental break for Nick Castellanos to at least get some of that pressure off his shoulders, to get some of those chips, those boulders off his shoulders by getting that vote of confidence from Rob Thomson. Now, did I like it? No, I didn't like it. But if you're the player, which is what ultimately matters in all this, you got to love the idea of your manager saying, I know you've been struggling, but guess what? You're the guy I'm going to be looking at today to make some things happen. And he got a hit yesterday. He got 3 today. He hit his 7th home run of the season. He drove in 2 runs with that home run. I'll take it from Nick Castellanos. And he also got the single. I like that a lot from Nick Castellanos. So I actually love that from Rob Thomson. And that's one of the things I think this clubhouse, these players, really love about Rob Thomson as well. As far as that, first off, let me just, when the bullpen guys run out of the bullpen next to each other, It reminds me of Brick Tamlin from Anchorman. I don't know what we're yelling about, but he's there, So they show up, and the reason it happened was, and I heard Ruben Amaro Jr. say it on the broadcast as well, he didn't know if Harrison was trying to throw inside to Bryce Harper. Can I answer the question? He was definitely trying to throw inside to Bryce Harper in that fourth inning, and what led to the benches clearing and the bullpen arms trotting in from the bullpen. It turned out to be nothing, but the bottom line of all of this was Harrison went inside way too many times on Bryce Harper, and he went inside so many times, in fact, that he almost hit him. Now, here's the way it went down in that fourth inning, and it is unfortunate because you don't want to see a guy like Bryce Harper who was already pissed off, and that definitely factors into all of this when it comes to Bryce Harper's attitude. I don't know if Bryce Harper's back was bothering him. I don't know if he had a headache again. I don't know if he was just pissed at his performance. I don't know. But the bottom line was he was already a little chippy by the time this at-bat in the fourth inning already rolled around. You saw him after striking out, I believe it was, in his first at-bat, going into the dugout. Yeah, first at-bat in the first inning, strikes out, goes into the dugout, slams the bat, slams the helmets. He's pissed off, takes a swing, one of his better swings, and that was that. I don't know if he was pissed because of an injury or he just didn't like his approach, whatever it was. So then fast forward to the fourth. There was also an error on Cristopher Sanchez that he couldn't get. Not at all Harper's fault. Don't know. But anyway, you go into that fourth inning, and he's facing Harrison. Harrison comes up and in. Well, the first pitch actually was interesting here. You have Harper goes down in the count, 0-2 count. Then there's a ball inside, up and in, a changeup, but up and in. Harper backs off of it. Then there's another ball that's even more up and more in. And at this point, that's when Harper loses it. So 3 pitches came inside. At the 6th pitch of the at-bat, it ended up being ruled originally hit by the pitch. So you got even more up and even more in on 3 of the 4 pitches. The one that buzzed Bryce Harper and ended up hitting up after review, not him, but the nub of the bat, that's the one that he just got furious over. That's where the bench is cleared. Previously, on the second up and in pitch, he yelled towards Harrison, get it over the plate or keep it over the plate, something to that effect. In other words, stop throwing at my jaw, bro. Then on the 3rd pitch that came up and in, the one that was ruled the foul ball, that's where the bench is cleared. That's where Harrison was looking like, I didn't mean anything by it. And it was 3 pitches, dude. 3 pitches. After that, not one more pitch got anywhere close to up and in. There was one over the middle of the plate that ended up being the ground out. Before that, low and away. And before that, there was one low in the zone that was fouled away by Bryce Harper. Pat Burrell was probably the most handsy of anybody involved in the, I don't know, kerfluffle, whatever it was. But, I mean, bottom line was from that point on, Phillies they were already up 2-0. They dominated, had 4 more runs after it, and all was right with the world. But I think going into that game, or excuse me, going into that at bat, bottom line was Harper was already pissed off. I don't know if that's something Harrison even recognized and thought, let me try to get in his cage a little bit more, because if Bryce Harper is off at the plate, that's only helping us. Turned out it didn't matter. It also turned out that Bryce Harper still got an RBI single later in the ball game, so he still drove one in. But I don't know what the case was. I think it was justified to take exception to where Harrison was throwing the baseball, especially if you do it 3 times. It does make me laugh when the bullpen guys trot in next to the guys they might be about to fight. Just get out of the bullpen, start fighting, start slugging it out there, guys. Come on now. Come on now. Anyway, that's the way that one went down in the 4th inning. When we come back, we're going to take a look at where the Phillies are headed next. We'll also take a look at the one more thing that Rob Thomson did in today's ball game in regards to Edmundo Sosa. We'll get to that in a second. You're Locked On Phillies postcast. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Follow along all season long as we break down your Phils in each and every postcast, as well as our Locked On Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles podcast as well. Back in a second. FanDuel. Have you downloaded FanDuel yet? Are you having yourself a great time with FanDuel? Winner take all time in the NBA as well as the NHL, and FanDuel's giving you a shot to bring home big, big money. Big win of your own, just like in the NHL and the NBA. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Any winning $5 bet? Not too shabby. 150 bonus bucks. Not too shabby. That's 150 bucks on spreads, money lines, player props, and so much more, like this popular same game parlay. Zach Hyman talking about the Dallas Stars taking on the Edmonton Oilers coming up in about an hour. Zach Hyman, anytime goal scorer. Jason Robertson, 60-minute player to record 2 or more shots on goal. Wyatt Johnston, player to record 1 or more points. Connor McDavid, he's pretty good at hockey. Player to record 2 or more points. 2,167 people are making that bet. It's going off right now at plus 683. Plus 683. A $10 wager gives you $68.40. All on FanDuel right now. How about NBA action? Looking at Game 5. Dallas Mavericks. Actually, how about this? The Minnesota Timberwolves at home for Thursday night, tomorrow night, are minus 4.5-point favorites in that one. Get in on all the action with FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn. And make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Edmundo Sosa bats second today. I love it. It's the type of thing where I like the philosophy and I hate the result. I'm not going to sit here and be like, so what? 0 for 5, who cares? No, 0 for 5 sucks. That's not good. Edmundo Sosa's been playing great. He's still batting over 306 on the season, still got a 379 on base percentage. All that's great. Still tearing it up in the month of May. But 0 for 5 sucks. But I love the idea of, again, your manager, Rob Thomson, saying, all right, you know what? This guy has done a fantastic job of hitting the baseball. I'm going to move him up in the order. Now, if it was me, I would have moved Bryson Stott up in the order. That's what I would have done. I would have been 1, 2, 3 lefties, so you probably want to shake things up a little bit. But Edmundo Sosa, did he earn the right to do it? He absolutely earned the right to do it. Did he reward his manager by being moved up to the 2-hole? No, he did not, unfortunately. But the philosophy, I can argue for, and I certainly support. The result, that kind of sucks. But if everybody else is hitting, go figure. The one game in Edmundo Sosa doesn't help carry the offense. Everybody else in the offense steps up big. I mentioned today you had 5 players with multi-hit games as the Phillies got you 14 hits in total in today's win. The Phillies will take an off day today. They play their last game of May on May 31st. That's Friday night. That's against the St. Louis Cardinals, who all of a sudden, just like the San Francisco Giants, just got back to 500 baseball. They're 27-27 on the season. They got a 6:40 start time against the best record in baseball. Aaron Nola gets the ball in that game Friday night at 6:40. He has 6-2 on the season with a 3.04 ERA. Aaron Nola is coming off a start against those Colorado Rockies where he allowed 2 earned runs, 3 in total, 5 hits, 6 innings of work. Did have the struggles in the early goings of that one. He also walked 2. He struck out 5. But like I said, 6-2 on the season as he comes into this one. He's going to be trying to lower his ERA to below 3. He enters this game with a 3.04 ERA. Miles Michaelis, I always mess his name up, Miss Guzzi. We have Ari in the chat, our resident, we do not, our resident Cardinals fan. Womp, womp. But anyway, he's back in the line, or he's pitching against the Phillies in this game. He's 3-5 on the season with a 5.64 ERA. He is coming off a 6-inning, 3-run, all of them earned performance on 4 hits against the Chicago Cubs. That was a 7-6 victory for the St. Louis Cardinals. Michaelis did face the Phils earlier in the season. That game actually went into extra innings. He went 6 2/3 back on April 8th, very early in the season. And he allowed 2 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits over those 6 2/3. He did issue 2 walks as well. So the Phillies will look to keep it going. By the way, looking around the NL East, funny to do this before even June, but I'm doing it before June. The Braves now 5.5 games behind the Phillies, but with a win tonight, they got the Washington Nationals at 7:20 in Atlanta. With a win tonight, that'll just go back to 5 games anyway. So, hey, let's go Washington. Let's go Nationals. Let's bring home a win. Go Nats, go. Natitude, baby. Natitude. So that's where we're at with your Philadelphia Phillies. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic as per usual. This has been a presentation of Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel to keep the good vibes going. Wait, hold on. Ari's now in the chat. Ari, is it Mikolos or Michaelos? Michaelis. I always mess up his name. Good old Miles. Can you help me out there for a second? Either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. Hit like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. And make sure you guys are staying tuned when we're back with you guys Friday night following the Phillies and Cardinals battling it out in South Philly. Michaelis. Ari. Michaelis. Now it's like 5 different pronunciations in one. Either way, that guy. I believe it's of Greek origin. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. Like and subscribe. Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. I'm sure Connor Thomas will be breaking all this down for you again with Locked On Phillies podcast. And don't miss Keith Pompey, Locked On 76ers podcast, putting reports out there with Jimmy Butler and the Sixers, a possible reunion. What? Yes. While they're at it, they should just re-sign Dr. J. Let's bring Dr. J back. You know what I'm saying? I'll take Jimmy Butler back if and only if it's emo Jimmy Butler. All right, that's enough of me. Have a great night, everybody. See you guys Friday night following the Phillies, hopefully opening that series with the Cardinals with a win. See you then. Bye.